Welcome back to Hannity. This past weekend, the president of Mexico, Enrique Nieto, appeared on CNN and was asked if anti-immigration views that were held by many here in the United States were, quote, racist.
When you hear some of the anti-immigrant language, the rhetoric, do you think it's racist?
I think it's discriminatory, yes, and I think it's unfortunate for a country whose formation and historic origin relies so much on the migration flows of many parts. Europe, Asia, for instance. I think this is a country whose origin, to a great extent, is one of migration. And that's why it's unfortunate to hear this exclusionary and discriminatory tone regarding the migration flows into the United States.
Here was reaction. Fox News contributor DeRoy Murdoch and radio talk show host Richard Fowler. Richard, do you know yourself what happens when people come from El Salvador, Central America, Nicaragua, Guatemala? Well, you know what happens to them when they go into Mexico illegally? Do you have any idea?
I do not know, Sean.
Okay, let me educate you.
You're going to enlighten me.
The president of Mexico, by his own definition, would be racist. You know why? Because they put those people in jail or they deport them immediately. Isn't it then, by his own definition, racist that he does that to the people of Central America?
Well, not exactly. I think what the president's saying here pretty clearly is the language being used.
What language?
The rhetoric that's being used by those who don't believe in immigration reform.
What language?
I'm not the president of Mexico. I'm saying what he was saying.
I want to know what language is racist. You got to help me out.
I don't listen. I'm not saying that I'm not agreeing with his comments at all. But I'm saying he's saying the language that's being used.
Do you know what language
racist.
he's referring to?
You have to ask him that question now, don't you, Sean?
Oh, so you don't know the language. Do you know the language,
I don't know the language, but look, we hear this charge all the time. The people who want to see secure borders and some kind of an orderly immigration situation are racist. I'm the son of immigrants. My mother and father came to the United States from Costa Rica in 1962, and guess what they did? They went to the U.S. Embassy, they filled out paperwork, they did health exams, they got a statement from my dad's father saying if they didn't get work in the United States, he'd pay to bring them back, and they got visas in their passports, and then they came to the United States. That's what people in this country want.
So the migration
and there's nothing racist about that.
The migration that he talks about was legal. My grandparents, all four of them, came from Ireland at the turn of the last century. Okay, all four of them. They came here, went to Ellis Island, they came here legally. So anybody in America cares if you come into the country. We get to check out your background, make sure that you're not somebody of ill repute, that you don't have a record, that you're going to contribute to our society.
Correct.
Then you come in legally.
Right. And there's nothing racist about that. I think it's perfectly appropriate. Look, if we were throwing a party and we invited a bunch of people, I think we'd expect them to come through the front door, shake our hands, we'd say, welcome, enjoy yourselves, have a good time. Not come in through the back window, come down the chimney and break in. And,
like Santa Claus.
Like Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is breaking in everybody's house once a year.
Not immigrants. Wait a second. I think, listen, and both my parents are immigrants from this country, from Jamaica, and they went through the process. That's not what I'm arguing here. But I think the larger context of this whole situation is that in this country, where I disagree, is that there's nothing wrong with securing our borders. Let's secure the borders. But at the same time, let's find a way to make sure the 11 million people living in the shadows can come out the shadows. We're not talking about instant amnesty.
Richard, how about
We're
this?
talking about a pathway to citizenship.
Let's secure the border first. Let's do what we keep saying we're going to do that we don't do. And then after the border's secure, we'll figure out how to deal with that problem. Because I don't see it. Wait a minute. Because what's going to happen is what happens all the time with the government. You get, for example, spending cuts last, tax cuts first. You'll get the legalization of illegal immigrants, but you'll never get the border secure. Secure the border first, then we can discuss the 11 million people.
Well, this is the thing. I don't think those two things are mutually exclusive, and I think if you would ask Ronald Reagan, he would tell you the same thing, because he passed instant amnesty in 1984.
And he said it was one of the biggest mistakes of his presidency.
That's neither here nor there. But the question I have for you, Sean, is why is it that we can't do both things at the same time? For those who are in the border,
because
we could track down and find, let's build the fence at the same time.
I don't trust the government, the same government that said they'd put their Social Security money in a lockbox, build a website for $2 billion, it's still not good, and told us we can keep our doctor and save money.
All those things. And also Obama basically by executive order put the DREAM Act in. into motion after the Congress refused to. There's a huge national security aspect to this, too. We're not just worried about people coming here.
ISIS, Ebola.
Exactly. For example, these are brand new figures from the Department of Homeland Security. In 2013, we had 70 people come across the border from Afghanistan. We had 72 from Syria. We had 168 from the Sudan and 257 from Iran. Now, with luck, they're coming here just because they want to work hard. But there could be some people in there, maybe a grand total of 19, who want to kill us. And we need to make sure that border is closed so we don't have people coming to this country who want to blow us.
Hang on, I got a question. So you want a secure border. It's wise to do so in the day and age of ISIS and Ebola, right, Richard?
I am all about securing the border, but I don't think those two things are mutually exclusive with having a pathway to citizenship. We
got to go. Thank you both. Good to see you. I'm glad to see one of you anyway. Kidding, DeRoy. All right. Coming up next, tonight's question of the day as we continue straight ahead.